You never truly walk alone, especially not in this village. Darkness was wrapping the village in its nightly shroud. The last rays of sun had vanished behind the hills, leaving only a faint, lingering twilight spread across the land. The village lanes were silent, as they always were, but this silence was different tonight. It was the kind of quiet that stirred a strange restlessness into the very air you breathed. My name is Ej, and I am this village's only watchman. Or rather, I am the only one left. Just a few days ago, my partner, Samir, disappeared. The official story is that he left for the city, but I know he didn't go to any city. He is somewhere in this village. Samir was a cheerful, courageous man, but for the past few weeks, he had been acting strangely. While on patrol at night, he would constantly glance over his shoulder, as if someone was following him. I would ask him, "What is it, Samir?" He would just tremble and say, "There is something behind us." I'd laugh it off. "It's just your imagination. Every shadow looks menacing in the dark." But the terror I saw in Samir's eyes was no illusion. That final night, we were on duty together. The night was profoundly dark. The moon was hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds. Suddenly, Samir froze. His face had turned a deathly pale. I asked, "What's wrong?" He pointed a trembling finger behind me. I turned around to look. There was nothing there, only dry grass and the twisted branches of trees swaying in the wind. I said, "Samir, it's that delusion again." But Samir didn't hear a single word. He suddenly began to laugh, a horrible, shrieking laugh that could terrify someone even in their sleep. Then he spun around and bolted into the bushes. I screamed for him to stop, but he didn't listen. I ran after him, but he had already vanished into the oppressive darkness. He was never found after that. Now I am alone. I patrol by myself. And now I feel the exact same thing that Samir used to feel. Every time I walk through the village lanes, I sense that someone is walking just behind me. I spin around to look. No one is ever there. It's just my own shadow moving along with me. But I have this chilling feeling that the shadow isn't mine. It belongs to someone else. It follows me, and I can sense its presence. Is this how it began for him too? A few days ago, I found something strange. I was making my rounds near the old village well. The well has been dry for many years. Villagers say that evil spirits inhabit its depths. I never believed in any of those stories. As I was passing the well, I heard a peculiar sound. It was like a faint whisper. I listened closely and thought I heard someone calling my name. "Ej." I looked behind me. Nobody. I walked on, but that voice echoed in my ears. The next day, I went back to the same well. I told myself it was just a figment of my imagination. But this time, I discovered something else. At the edge of the well, there was a small, flat stone. Something was carved into it. I moved closer to see, and what I read made my soul shudder. It said, "There was something behind." These were the very words Samir used to repeat. I examined the stone carefully. There were dark stains on it, like dried blood. I took the stone to the village elder. I told him everything, from Samir's disappearance to finding the stone. The elder laughed away my concerns. "Ajay, it seems being alone is making you fearful. This is all in your head. Samir has gone to the city, and this stone was probably some child's game." But I saw a flicker of fear in the elder's eyes, too. He couldn't look me in the eye while he spoke. I felt he was hiding something. What did he know? The next day, I decided I would uncover the truth myself. During my night patrol, I altered my route. I headed towards the old, abandoned part of the village where nobody ever goes. That section has been desolate for years. It's full of old, dilapidated houses, and a strange, foul smell hangs in the air. I entered that part of the village. The silence there was so profound I could hear my own breathing. I stopped near a crumbling house. I felt that someone was inside. I shined my lantern's light through a broken window. No one was there inside, but I had the unnerving feeling that I was being watched. I slowly stepped inside the house. It was filled with dust and spider webs. In a corner, I saw something. There was a pile of clothes. I picked them up. They were Samir's. I began to tremble. Samir was here. Where did he go? I looked all around the house. I saw a closed door. It was made of wood and had a large, rusty lock on it. I started trying to break the lock, but it wouldn't give. I was standing near the door when I heard a slow, strange voice from the other side. AJ, don't come inside. It was Samir's voice. But this wasn't the Samir I knew. This was the Samir who laughed, but whose laughter held no joy. I started pounding on the door with my fists. Samir, where are you? What happened to you? But no answer came from within, just an eerie silence. I left that door and started running back towards the village. But while running, I ended up in a place I never thought I would go. I reached the village cremation ground. The cremation ground was far from the village, and no one ever went there. I stood there, and suddenly I saw a strange shadow. It was my own. But it wasn't walking with me. It was circling me. It was staring at me. I was terrified. I closed my eyes and took deep breaths. When I opened my eyes, I saw a horrific sight. Something was written on the ground. There is nothing behind. I was stunned. If there is nothing behind, what happened to Samir? And who was watching me? And whose voice was that? I was thinking when I noticed something else. In a corner of the cremation ground, there was a small pit. I went towards that pit. Inside, I saw a human skull. Next to the skull was a lantern. It was the same one Samir owned. Now, everything became clear. Nothing had happened to Samir. He hadn't gone anywhere. He was here, right here in the village. But he was dead, and I was going to die too. But who was killing us? I looked back one more time. No one was there, but I felt it. Something was behind me, waiting for me to die. I ran towards the village. I kept running and running until I reached my house. I slammed the door shut and began to shake with fear. But I knew I wasn't safe in my house. It was behind me. It had always been behind me. It was behind Samir. And now, it is behind me. It will always be behind me, until I become just like it. That night, I did not sleep. I just kept staring at my front door, wondering when it would open and when it would come inside. But it didn't come. When morning came, I felt a bit calmer. I thought maybe it was all just my delusion. I convinced myself that Samir had gone to the city and would return soon. But there was a strange fear in my heart that wouldn't let me rest. That day, I was on patrol again. I walked slowly through the village lanes. I didn't look back anymore. I knew there was nothing there. But still, I felt that something was behind me. I just kept walking. Then I heard a voice. It whispered in my ear. AJ, there is something behind you. I stopped. I slowly turned around to look. No one was there. Just my shadow standing behind me. And the shadow spoke into my ear. AJ, now you will become like me. I felt myself slowly changing into its shadow. My eyes held the same fear that Samir's once had. The same hollow laugh escaped my throat that had come from Samir's. And I knew that I too would be lost in this village's darkness. Someone else would take my place. And then I too would say, there was something behind. If this story sent a chill down your spine, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more tales from the edge of darkness.